I'm not back home. I'm in the same Airbnb as you. I'm just one floor below you. I don't know why you say it. I am nice and cozy and warm in my bedroom. I think I got the hot room. So you're welcome, Gordon. I am not cold. I don't know. It is a little stuffy in here though. There's like some scent that I've been smelling. It's like
Mm,
a fragrance, but it's like really thick. It could be pneumonia, not what's ammonia, which is not a good smell, right?
okay.
Ammonia can like make you pass out. So I think there might be a
Hmm.
gas leak in my room, but it smells good, but it's also probably not good. It's getting me a little stuffy, not gonna lie. But I'll survive. Only what, 2 more nights here? We'll be good.
I thought you were going to say it was a scent of victory. I thought that was all set up for you to talk about that. I mean, you're not home, but you're in your city. This is
Oh,
your city.
oh, I thought you were. Yes, I am home. I my improv skills are not on top game right now, so I apologize. No, yeah, I am happy to be in Philadelphia.
Hmm.
Let's be honest, for those who know Philadelphia sports, last night was probably the greatest night in Philadelphia sports history. The Phillies pulled off a sweep. The Sixers won by like 50 points. And then the Eagles traded for AJ Brown from the Tennessee Titans. So
Hmm.
it's been nothing but uh, euphoria going on in Philadelphia right now. And now we have the Penn Relays to get excited about. So it's just been one after the other of just greatness. I mean, it's all going to come crashing down probably next weekend, but I'm going to live in the moment. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to pretend that, the city of brotherly love is full of love, and I'm just going to keep it going. But, I know I'm going to be disappointed in like 7 to 10 days from now.
You brought the good luck. It was also a historic day for the podcast. We saw some listeners at the meet. It was very exciting. Did a little bit of a sights and sounds of the Penn Relays, which was so much fun. People can check that out on the site. But then we left the meet, and this is when the magic happened. We were walking to Wawa to get some supplies, and as we were walking, we were stopped at a stoplight, and a gentleman comes up to us and says, "Hey, I'm listening to you guys right now." Pulls out his phone, and on his phone was a FloTrack podcast episode in progress. Now, I think Gordon could see in real time my head getting bigger and bigger. It was a all-time moment, and cameraman, videographer extraordinaire Brian Dybel was there as a witness because I don't think anybody would have believed us if we had said that this happened. But it was amazing. Very nice guy. He was in the middle of his run, didn't want to keep him from the rest of his run. He's an 800 runner, trying to make a college team. But I was just so excited. That's never happened to me. Probably will never happen again. So I'm cherishing that moment.
Yeah, I mean, we're at a track meet, so flow track being at a track meet, you're bound to find track fans. So it's not too crazy, but the fact that you're mid listening to our voices and then you see our faces, it's kind of wild. So, but it was fun. We also did this cool little get to know the fans of Penn Relays. Walked around with a mic and camera, interacted with the fans, some of the Jamaican fans, some of the high school 4x4s. It was all around great day one. I enjoyed it. I'm just so happy to be back at Penn Relays. I haven't been here since what 2015 or so, so it's been
Mm-hmm.
cool. And yeah, I ran here in high school and college, and I have great memories. So now it's cool to be back and be on the other side of the track. And man,
Mm-hmm.
dude, day one was fun, and
Yeah.
it was great because day one was fun based off of like very like if day one is fun, day two and three are going to be amazing because day two and three are
Mm-hmm.
full of like the legit events, the legit championship of Americas, and the fact that day one
Yeah.
still pulled out some kind of surprises was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So let's first update the pickup contest, Gordon.
Okay,
The
yeah.
pickup contest that people can enter and win before we look back at day one and then preview day two. If you're watching this video, you can scan that QR code to play the FloTrack pickup contest for this week. But what are the questions that people are trying to get correct this week?
You know, it's kind of funny. I think about that QR code. How do you think people scan the QR code if they're watching us on their phone? Do you think they have to have two phones?
Another phone. Don't you have a phone just
Yeah,
dedicated for QR codes? I know I
I
do.
do. I have my QR code phone. Yeah.
There's actually an app that lets you scan photos. I just figured this out like a couple of weeks ago. You can take a screenshot and then use an app to
Hmm.
scan the photo. I've never been able to do it before,
Oh,
but that's how you do it.
there you guys. So
These are
download the app,
cool answers.
scan the photo, and then go play the pickup. Yeah, but we got um go to there's what three questions this round.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
go.
I
You can
believe
bring
so.
up the pickup. I'll put the URL in the rundown so you can
In the
show it up.
rundown.
But
Hmm.
yeah, we'll put it up. Oh, there it is. So yeah, three questions. First, not questions, but three challenges. Not challenges, but more three predictions. First one, I think, is going to be the highlight of the meet. Will a Thingmo break the 600-meter American record? Now we're talking maybe she'll
Mm.
break the world record, but I put it at
Yeah.
American record to give because world records are rare. So it's a simple yes or no question. Do you think a
Hmm.
Thingmo will break the 600-meter American record at the Penn Relays? It's on Saturday afternoon.
Hmm.
122.39 is the mark held by Ajay Wilson, who is in the race. Um, Kevin, what are you going with? Yes or no? You think she'll break the American
I'm
record?
going. I'm going with yes. Now the wind concerns me a little bit, but the field is so good that she's going to need to run a quick time just to win. I've said it numerous times on this pod. She is built for the 600. I think she's going to get it.
Yeah, I'd go with yes as well. I think, yeah, she's built for the 600. She's probably potentially could become the greatest 600-meter runner ever based on her
Hmm.
800 strength and 400 speed. Second question: who will win the Penn Relays 4x mile on the men's side? That is Saturday afternoon. You got great teams like Wisconsin, Texas, Georgetown, Villanova. You got the field, which is everyone else. Kevin, I
A
saw that you're
collection of
going with
field event
Wisconsin.
athletes. Yes,
Kevin, you're going
I
with
am going with Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah,
They're coming off a
yeah.
great Oregon relays where they had a bunch of guys around like 336, 337, 338 in the 1500.
Hmm. And Olin Hacker ran a 5,000-meter personal best. This one is
With
going to be close,
Texas.
though. This one's real close on the men's side of things. Look out for Georgetown, too. Georgetown's got two real fast guys. And then you got, what's the third question here? Oh, women's 4x15. You went NC State. I went Arkansas on that one. Again, almost a toss up there.
Yeah, that we talked about that on the pod on Wednesday. But Arkansas is going to be going for that collegiate record slash national
Hmm.
record slash of 1708 held by Tennessee in 2009, saying they're going for it. So they're not going for the win. They're going for the record. So they're going to push it three legs. And that anchor leg where you're going to have potentially
Hmm.
a Courtney Wayment, a Caitlin Toohey, a Lauren Gregory, all in the anchor is going to set up for a very spicy final leg in that 1500. I mean, they're probably all, if they're pushing each other, they could all run sub 410 maybe, which would be pretty wild.
Oh, that would be incredible. I mean, that was the mark that's the split that Sarah Bowman ran on that record-setting team. Remember, it was three 419s, and then Bowman closed in a 410. So to have multiple people going that quick would be amazing. So that's an exciting one. I went Arkansas, you went NC State. So that's the pickup contest. Penn Relay is going on right now, actually, as we record. If you're watching us live, I mean, if you're listening or watching to us later, probably Penn Relays is still going on. It's just nonstop Penn Relays. It's amazing. So that's going on right now. People can click over and check that out. I want to talk real quick about day one. Who impressed on day one? And um, high school girls 4x4, 4x1. I thought it was all about here. Let me get my shirt here. Gordon, I'm gonna set my mic down for a second. This is what day one was all about.
Jamaica, where'd you get that shirt?
Had the shirt for a while. Didn't even realize I threw it in my bag for Penn Relays, but I'm glad I did. Edwin Allen girls in the 4x1 were spectacular. And then Heidel in the 4x4. I'm excited to see the finals of those races, those Championship America of those races, because they were just the prelims. There was also some exciting Masters action, Gordon, which produced some very memorable results. There was this incredibly bizarre 4x1 where you had a false start, a fall, a drop baton, and then a bandage, and a man running with a toothpick in his mouth. And I
Yeah,
think
there's
this is
this.
going to go down in history as one of the most iconic 4x1s in history.
Yeah, I feel like we should just play this whole clip on this podcast because there's the false start. It's out there in lane 7. But look at this guy who they're gonna show a close up of him this way any moment now. He's a vet. He's running with the hat on and he's got a toothpick in his mouth, and he would kill you. I mean, the guy looks like the biggest badass on the planet in the city of Philadelphia. They're gonna show a close up of him, but he is active, and the meet director or the relays officials decided not tonight, not today, sir. You're not allowed to run, and they kick him off the track. They're booing. They're like, no, let him run, because this is the 60 and over 4x1, and he didn't leave. He was like, I'm running. No, I'm running, and then they kick him off. They force him to leave, and then we thought that was it. We thought that was the end of this crazy 4x1. They kick him off. We were upset, disappointed. People were booing. And then it just got even crazier. The race happens. The race happens, and we see like multiple baton drops. We see like athletes crashing where they fall, they trip over themselves. While there's some nasty spills. That was going on, right? And then, sorry if that's if you hear the siren in the background, West Philadelphia, baby. But yeah, we'll show this. We're gonna see the fall coming up, so I'll wait for it. You guys can see the fall in real life. So here's the fall. Boom, he goes down. That's the third leg goes down. Then on this exchange here for our leaders, they do a baton drop. Watch this. Boom, all baton fail. He's running without the baton. Got to go back, grab the baton. And then we think that's over. Like, all right, this is the last team that survived. They won the race out there in lane, 8 that is. Good for them. But no, we're still going because remember the team that disqualified wasn't allowed to run? Well, it's the Penn Relays. We're going to do what we want to do. We're going to figure out a way to make this happen. And so the dead last team, which is coming around the back turn, which we're going to show too soon. So most of the race is over. People are cheering. And then this guy coming around hot in lane 3 or 4. You think, all right, this is going to be a little victory for this guy. But look up out of nowhere in lane 8, running without a baton, the anchor leg from the disqualified team said, fuck it, we're going, and kicks down the last place guy to get, a little personal victory. Look at him. He's like, I'm so sick
I
of
want to
this.
run. I want to run.
I'm running.
It's not my fault we got
walks
DQ'd.
Off the track. He's like,
well, it's funny too.
I don't have a baton.
They have this,
who needs one?
Yeah. And then there's the guy who got DQ'd with the toothpick. They got the bucket with that you're supposed to drop the batons in, and the guy just walks right past. I don't have a baton. Yes,
it was wild. Alex
a highlight, and then in the Open 100 for the Masters, just a crazy performance there too, a crazy fast time from a guy who. He just rips out of the blocks. Like, you watch these Masters races, and you don't know, like, okay, how does the fastest 50-year-old look? How does the fastest 6-year-old, 7-year-old? Like, you don't actually know. But then you watch this race, and he goes 13-4. Let's just watch this. It's gonna be in the middle of the track. Like the explosion just out of the blocks immediately. This guy was in a completely different stratosphere from everybody else. Look at this.
Oh my god. It's so fast. 70 years, and he does not look like he's missed a beat from his college days. He was he was in the 4x1 as well, I believe. I think he was in the anchor of one of the 4x1s. But
like, what is his
hammy at the end
there
just to make sure it's still intact?
What are they made of?
Very
This is like
impressive.
titanium or something. That was incredible. Incredible. Any other day one highlights for you, Gordon?
Um, high school girls, the 3K and the
Mm,
mile are pretty impressive. Uh,
yeah.
we were what's a Whitaker on the mile, kind of looking
Mhm,
smooth. She's going to Stanford. 3K was fun to watch. Yeah, overall though, it was just great to see. I mean, part of me was just excited that Penn Relays was back, even
mhm,
though it could be like 4 hours of 4x4s after 4x4s. It can get a
yeah.
little monotonous at times because it's a long day. But just the fans were coming back. The Jamaican fans were there. Just overall, it's just great vibes all around, and it's setting up for what's
Mhm,
going to be a really good Friday because Friday we have a lot of the college races coming in. On the sprint side, we have the Championship of Americas, DMRs, things like that.
mhm.
And then tonight, you know, the world record attempt in the 4x, which is going to be really challenging because there's been another change to the um, the roster. Because right now it is Tom Elmers, who I never heard of, to be honest. It's Ben Flanagan, who is more of a 10K guy.
Mhm,
And then you have
mhm,
Joe Klecker and Oliver Hoare. And I was talking this to one of the on athletics official, not officials, on athletic reps, and they were thinking that Tom and Ben are going to hopefully run 401, 402. And I'm like, wait a minute.
mhm.
You're hoping that half of your roster is running 401, 402, and you're going to try to break the world best off of that? And I was like, that would be wild. So there's a
Mhm.
part of their mind that they're thinking they're going to break this all on the backs of Becker and Hoare, which would make
Yeah.
the record even more impressive if they were able to do it with like an average um, first and second leg. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited. It's going to be Friday night. It is a little cold here, a little windy, but
Mhm.
overall, it's um, I think at night the conditions were pretty good for like the distance athletes. What do you think of the conditions here?
Yeah, and the wind started to die down the later we got in the day. The temperature was in the mid to high 50s, but it felt a lot cooler because of how the wind was blowing. And I'll repeat what I said last pod. If they end up breaking this record, build a statue of Oliver Hoare at the On headquarters because it's going to take a Herculean effort from him to get it done. But you think how many clubs could actually run their seventh, eighth, or fifth, sixth, whatever we're on, whatever guy we're on for on, right? How many clubs could go that deep and still have guys that could break this mark? So it's tough. They're in a tough position. I think when they initially said, "Hey, we're going after the record," it was with a core group of four. But then when you have injuries or setbacks and you're going now down to five, six, or seven, or eight, any club would struggle at that point because not that many clubs keep that many milers or whatever. Choose your event, right? Usually they're spread out over a series of different events. So it will be a challenge, but Oliver Hoare doesn't seem like he's one to back down from a challenge or back off of a challenge. Klecker can run well. So we'll see. Maybe they don't get the record, but maybe the goal is just trying to figure out how to beat that Oregon team because that seems to be a point of motivation for Hoare. Maybe it's about 15:52 and not the world record from the Irish group. But we shall see. We also
Yeah,
got
I was talking to Andrew.
go ahead.
I was talking to Andrew Weeding. Andrew Weeding, great Oregon athlete. He now works at On Athletics, and he knows about Oliver Hoare's, this not disgust. That's a strong word, but his hate for Oregon. And we were joking with him. He's like, he's going to wear an Oregon jersey and just stand on the
Mhm.
track and show it to him as like motivation for him to like run even faster. He's like, see this logo here? This is why you're doing it. This is why you're going to run 3:48 right now. So
Hey, if he splits a 3:48 or even 3:50, I don't even care if they run 18 minutes. That's the story.
yeah,
If he's
no,
able to do that,
yeah,
that was
that'd be wild.
because he would be by himself out there. So we're gonna run through the sprints. today. And then we'll talk a little bit about Peyton Jordan at the end because we got that coming up this weekend. So one sprint note before we get into who is running. Allison Felix is not running Penn Relays. Announced it yesterday. She won't be in that 300. So we thought she was going to run. She's not going to run. Still don't. So you're not going to get the opportunity to ask her about when her farewell race is, Gordon. So you can check that off the to-do list.
Yeah. Here, sorry, I put in the wrong tweet, Colt. I apologize. Here's the tweet.
It's fine. We don't even need that. We don't need the tweet. She's not running. We got it.
But
she's
did
not
you
running.
feel like, okay, I want to talk about this though. It seemed kind of, why? She's healthy. She just ran a 200. Why commit to an event and then all of a sudden be like, I don't want to come? Like, it seems a little iffy. I don't know about you, but I think it's kind of like a weird move. You're just like, I don't think we should just accept like, yeah, we've been informed she's not running. She didn't tell us why. Okay, cool. Move on. Like, she's just allowed to like just be secretive and do it. I mean, it's kind of weird.
Well, she never posted about it, so we don't know. This whole basketball month, she never posted about it. She never posted about running.
Posted about it. Yeah, but no, she told her representative. The representatives told Penn that she was running here.
Yeah.
Penn Relays didn't just be like post out. Allison Felix is running here without talking to Allison Felix.
I know.
She told Penn Relays she was running here, and then all of a sudden, the last moment, she's like, "Guys, I'm not coming," and the post doesn't even have a reason. Like, I'm just saying, man. Allison Felix, even if I don't think she's hurt because she literally just ran a really good 200.
She's not hurt. She's not hurt.
Then why do you think she's not running? Give me a reason. Give me a reason. Give me a reason.
I have no idea. No idea. She's running 4 races and she's.
Do you think this could be a reason?
Want to make this one of them. It's a 300.
Do you know this could be a? No, you know what I think the reason is? I don't feel like it. I think is the reason, which I think is a bullshit reason. If that's the reason, if your reason for decommitting from a shitty, in my opinion.
Am I cutting out or is Gordon cutting out? I can't tell. Okay, it's fine. Gordon's going down the same road that we've gone down before. It's her farewell tour. Run wherever you want. I don't care. I just would like to know ahead of time if you're not going to run.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter to me where you run.
It's your farewell.
Just tell some people where you're going to run. That'd be cool. That's all I'm saying.
Well, if it's your farewell to if it's your farewell tour, don't tell people you're going to go to a meet, and then a week out be like, I changed my mind. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you wanted to.
How'd you feel if I told you I was coming to your party and then I told you no? You'd be like
relieved.
Come on, man.
That'd be my first.
I think you're being too nice to Allison Felix right now. She's a great athlete, one of the best, but she could have came and like waved to the. There's gonna be like 20. There's gonna be like 40,000 people here who are like looking forward to see her and like celebrate her career. No. And she's like, nah, I'm just gonna stay home.
I'm disappointed, but not surprised because I would have thought she would have mentioned it before this week. That's all I'm saying.
So do you think she lied to Penn Relays?
No, I don't know.
Do you think
Penn?
You're not surprised?
I'm surprised because usually athletes, when they're running at a big meet, mention it frequently in the lead up. That's all I'm saying. And there was not any of that. So I'm not surprised.
Do you think
Can we talk about the
Sorry. Do you think Penn knew beforehand? Is that what you're saying? Like,
no.
Was it going to happen?
She told Penn she's running. And then at the last minute, she told Penn, by the way, I changed my mind. I'm not running anymore. I don't know. Don't say you're running then. Don't tell them a month ago you're going to run. If all of a sudden, a week out, you'd be like, I changed my mind. If you were on the fence, then don't commit in the beginning. They were going to set up a race for her. The whole point of the 300 was for her to run it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you're being too nice on this little like flaking
all
of
I care
pulling
about
out on one of the best meets of the year.
Just listen. People scratch and flake on meets all the time in track and field. That's part of it. All I'm saying is she's one of the greatest athletes of all time doing this farewell tour. I think people want to see her. So I want to know when she's going to be
Yeah.
competing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And maybe we should kind of be like, hey, you should go to these meets and not just be like, yeah, you can just stay at home and do nothing. Now, again, there could be like a personal reason,
No,
and this is all
she
moot,
can do
and
whatever
I
she
could be like,
wants.
yeah, she can
I
do
just
whatever
want
she
to know.
wants.
I don't.
But
It
like,
doesn't. It
I
especially
think
this year.
she
I
should
don't.
be
It
open to.
doesn't matter.
You should be open to criticism. I think it's bad for our sport when athletes can kind of just be secretive and be like not committal and be like in out. Oh, I'm scratching. I'm not. Oh, I'm going to do a workout instead of a race. Like, I think it's bad for our
Yeah, but
sport that we constantly just accept random scratches with no known reason and be like, oh, that's our sport. People scratch all the time without a reason. Whatever.
yeah,
Like,
but that
it would have
happens
been
when
better.
people are that happens
What?
when people are pursuing gold. That happens when people are pursuing gold medals in the middle of their career. So why would it not happen when it's just a farewell tour, which in and of itself is kind of of undetermined length and completely subject to the whims of an athlete? Like, of course, it's going to be at her discretion. That's the whole purpose of a farewell tour. I don't like it, but it does. It falls in line perfectly with everything that we know about the sport. Can we talk about the sprints though?
All right.
Can we talk about the meet? I want to talk about the meet. I want to talk about who's here.
This is the meet. This is the meet. We got podcasts,
No, she's
man.
not running. She's not running.
All right.
She's not
Yeah.
running.
And
Talk
I
about the
want to
meets.
say, I think some people, I think we should stop as a track and field community just being like, oh, scratch, move on. Like, I think we need to talk about that. The problem in our sport where people scratch events willy-nilly without really much of an explanation. And like, when the people at the very, very top, like an Allison Felix or an Usain Bolt type level, people, it trickles down, right? You'd be like, oh, well, Allison Felix can do what she wants, so I'll just scratch. And like, I don't know, other sports don't act this way. It doesn't happen this way. They give reasons and you understand it. I'm just saying, hey, I could be upset. I just don't think we move on. And be like, yep, Allison Felix scratch. People literally bought
for
tickets to come see her.
how many
And they're
minutes
like, all right,
do you want to be upset for?
more than
I don't think
zero.
there's going to be.
That's how many minutes.
I don't think there's going to be an
More than zero,
epidemic
because
of.
you don't care at all, and I think that's bad that you don't care.
I put it on the rundown. What do you mean I don't care? We're at like 10 minutes now. I think people heard your point. Let's move on. I don't think there's going to be an epidemic of scratching because Allison Felix didn't show up to this meet. I think it's unfortunate. Yeah, if people bought tickets to do it or to see her and she didn't go. And I think as a farewell tour, it makes more sense for her to publicize where she's going to be. But it's her farewell tour. So if this is the way she wants to manage it, this is the way she's going to manage it. But I think people heard your point.
All right. Anyway, what's the next
Sprints.
topic? Sprints. We'll
Houston.
talk about sprints.
We talked about distance a bunch on the last episode, so we're gonna go into sprints this time.
Do it.
So I got a couple questions here. Houston on the men's side, Gordon, they're the favorite in a lot of these races. When you look at 4x1, 4x2, when you look at the individual 100 with Sean Maswanganyi, do you think they're going to get back into the title conversation after this week? Because right now you have them ranked 8th in the 4x1. Maswanganyi is not one of the favorites right now in the 100. We know he has the ability to be one of the favorites based on how he ran last year, one of the NCAA's best athletes. Do you think things are going to change this weekend for Houston after the race in Franklin Field?
I do. I think we could. It's sometimes you forget that Houston just has a lot of great depth, and that Houston is not that far removed from when they were, in the top two. I mean, they won the NCAA championship in the 4x1 multiple years. They were flirting with the collegiate record during like the Eli Hall, Cameron Burrell days. 2019, they were really good, and they dropped the baton. So that wasn't that long ago. It feels like a long time ago because the whole pandemic. And they have an Olympian on their team, and Sean Maswanganyi. And I think what's happened is they just haven't had that moment they haven't had their Texas Relays moment. Sean's kind of been, we thought he would be better indoor, and he wasn't. They kind of just been slow to get to this point, but now that we're entering end of April, we're almost in May. I do think there could be a moment here where they throw down a time where they're like, all right, let's not forget about the Houston team. Like, we know the Floridas, we know the LSUs, we know,
Mm-hmm.
the Texas A&Ms are all out there. But maybe this will be, because Houston's going to be the favorite here. There's not really that big of a
Yep.
challenger. They go out here and they dominate. They're not going to go from 8th to being like you're the number 1 team, but they could go
Yeah.
from 8th to Houston's the wild card team. Like, this is their chance to become the wild if they perform well this weekend.
Yeah, I think they're running out of time to move up, right? Because these teams are just churning out quick marks. That in the individual 100, right? We've seen what Burnett's done. We've seen what Williams has done. We've seen what Bowling's done, Fanbele, etc. So season's kind of coming. We're on that back half of the season, right? We're going to be into May next week. Not many opportunities left to run fast. So I think they got to take advantage. I'd expect them to win. Ohio State's in these relays along with, let's see, who else is in these, that 4x1 with them. We got,
Arkansas, Auburn, Clemson,
yeah.
GC Foster.
So
Those are the
right.
teams.
Yeah, but that's a winnable
Arkansas is
field
good.
for Houston. But Houston should win if they're where we think they
Yes.
are. Agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
good. We got an agreement there. 4x2. I mean, not as many people are going to take the 4x2 results and extrapolate them to what they mean for NCAA's, but get a win. I think that's a nice thing to move forward. And then even the 4x4, right? Houston, Ohio State, Arkansas in the 4x4. We got Quivell Jordan in that 4x4 for Houston. He just won the 400 hurdles in a lifetime best yesterday in less than ideal conditions. So it could end up being a big weekend for Houston. If it does, maybe that gives them a little bit of positive momentum on the back half of the season. Women's side of things, Anavia Battle. Get ready to say that name if you're watching the Penn Relays. Anavia Battle. I want to know how many titles she can win, Gordon. She's in the 100. They have her listed also in the 4x1, 4x2, sprint medley, and then in that Olympic development 300, where she belongs because she's already been an Olympian. I know she'll be running in that race against a professional field, but Battle could definitely win that 300-meter race. A little bit long for her. She's a 200-meter superstar, but you look at the other names in that race, she definitely could win that. So how many titles do you think Anavia Battle will win this weekend?
2.
2.
I know she has 5
All right.
opportunities, but I'm going with 2. I mean, 2 to 3, probably 3, but I'm going with 2. I'm being conservative with my predictions. New Gordon,
2 of
new
the
me.
3. You mean 2 of the 5? I mean, she's going to win the 100.
Yeah, 2 of the 5.
Make sure.
No, she says she
win the
can win
100.
2, 2, 3. 2 or 3, I think she's going to win. But I'll go with 2.
Oh. Yeah, their team can win the 4x1. South Carolina is in there as well. Same thing with the 4x2. Sprint medley, they have a solid 800-meter runner that can bring them home. That one would be the toughest because you're relying on
800.
other people more. But I think she can win the 100 and the 300 straight up. I think she's going to end up with 3 or 4. I'm more optimistic than you. I think this is going to be the weekend of Anavia Battle. And it is crazy because you look at, she made the Olympic team last year. I mean, she didn't win NCAA's, ends up on the Olympic team. And then we go the next year, and that women's 200 is just so stacked because we've been talking about O'Feely, collegiate record holder, and Steiner, the collegiate record indoors and the collegiate record outdoors. But Battle, I mean, she's a sub-22 runner. And that's what makes this year's field historic. It's not just one person. It's actually 3.
It's 3, but Battle has yet to run to the form that she had end of last year. And maybe that's for a reason. And maybe it does become a 3-woman race after like East prelims is complete, and we're like, whoa, Battle's
Yeah.
been cruising. You saw what she did at Penn Relays. You saw what she did at Big Ten. So she did at the East prelims. Ophelia and Steiner better
Mhm.
be worried. I mean, I hope that Ophelia, Steiner, and Battle. I think they're all in the East, right? Because
Yeah.
Ohio State is East prelim, so
East.
there could
Yep.
be a chance we see them have to face each other in a prelim at
Mhm.
NCAAs. So that'd be pretty cool.
Mhm. Yeah. Again, I mean, 21 if you're 21.95 and you're the third person we're talking about in an event, that shows you
Pretty
just
well.
how good it is. Yeah, I'm looking at um indoor season. What did
She was pretty
she
good indoor.
got? Yeah, I mean, one
She was
one
slow
Big 12,
build up.
Big
I mean,
Tens.
but
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the women's 2 indoors. Oh, so she was in that second heat. She was in race B. So Steiner, Ophelia were in race 1, and Battle was in a different heat, that 2-heat final. So she ends up she ran the third fastest time, but she was not in the race. So that's one of the weird quirks of the indoor 200, which is why you kind of wait outdoors to see that event. So um, high hurdles on the collegiate side, Philip Lemonius of Arkansas's NCAA finalist. But I'm also looking at the pro side of things here too. You got Devin Allen and Omar McLeod in the men's Olympic development high hurdles, and then you have Sydney McLaughlin in the women's Olympic development high hurdles. I was thinking about this with McLaughlin, like if she can, how fast she's going to run. Can she open with a PB of 12:65? And you're thinking, well, she hasn't raced since Tokyo. There's got to be some rust getting back. But she was so new to the event last year at the professional level that she knocked off a bunch of time. But maybe she's like, 12:6 is her floor now, and maybe we could see her start off at that point. I mean, she's gonna, if she runs 12:6, she could win. She definitely could win in that field. But I feel like with McLaughlin, she has, not that she'd ever want to pursue the high hurdles, but I think she has another move to make in that race. Do you feel the same way?
yeah, I think just the unknown. It's the season opener, and like you said, she hasn't run since. So it's gonna be weird, right? You haven't heard like the pressure of like, all right, here we go in the blocks for a long time, and sometimes you kind of need a. I mean, not that she is like a rookie, right? She's freaking Olympic champ. I don't think it's that. It's not the. It's not her first rodeo. It's not her first go around, but it's the first
Mhm.
rodeo, the first go around of 2022. So
Mhm.
sometimes you might get a little. You might miss their first few shots, right? First game of an NBA
Mhm.
season, you get a little cold. So that's why it's going to be exciting to watch because you don't know what we're going to get when it's a season opener. We can get, whoa, watch out, Sydney, or like, ooh, Sydney, you need a few more block starts in your training before you on the track next time. I think she's going to do great. I think you're right. I think and that new floor will, which will be set her up that if she tried and potentially kept going, she could, maybe pull off year Sydney, which when's
Mhm.
off year Sydney can be? That's 2025. Is
6.
that off year or
No,
six?
6. It's a
2026
long way
off year
from now,
Sydney. I
man.
mean that's far away from now. But off year
Yeah,
Sydney
yeah.
could become a 100 hurdler. Off year
Mm.
Sydney 100 hurdler.
We should do an off-year athlete pod if we're still doing the pod in the end of 2025. Just predict what everybody's off-year event or plans would be. Some of them would be like not running at all. Um, you know what could happen? I'm looking at Devin Allen running 13:12 last week, and I'm looking at the wins at Franklin Field. And I know the wins don't help you in the same way in the hurdles that they do in the flat events because people say, oh, it kind of sucks to get pushed over the hurdles, kind of ruins your timing. But if it's the right kind of wind to help, like we could see a crazy wind aided time. Because if he's in 13-12 shape, wind legal, if he gets just a little bit of a boost, we could see a fast men's high hurdle race. Because we know he's in shape. We know where Devin Allen's at.
Yeah. And he just got news of the A.J. Brown trade for the Eagles. So he's going to be motivated to try to steal that spotlight back as a Philadelphia Eagle new wide receiver.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to be thinking. I mean, that's the first question I'm going to ask him. Like, I don't care about – he'll break the world record. I'll be like, yo, what'd you think about the A.J. Brown trade? He'd be like, Gordon, we're in track and field right now. All right. It's not about the Philadelphia Eagles. I was like, yeah, you're right. All right. How'd the breaking the world record feel? He's not going to break the world record, obviously. But you're right. 13-12 win legal. Give him a few gusts. He could surprise him like a 12.99 with like a heavy tailwind. I mean, obviously it's a tailwind, so it's not a watch out Holloway moment, but it would be a fun situation to see Devin Allen like continue to like improve. I mean, he broke 13 right after the Olympics, right? That's when he broke 13.
Yeah.
So you could argue he has yet to really hit. He's still like ascending. It's kind of weird because he's getting a little older there, and he had like that great freshman year at Oregon. But if he's able to start closing in on sub 13, end of April, beginning of May, that sets him up for being potentially like a reliable 12-9 guy in an Olympic final, which is something that would challenge Grant. As good as Grant is, like if he knows like Devin is going to give him a 12-9 no matter what, it makes Grant be like, oh crap, I got to run the world record to make sure this win. So.
Allen is doing something interesting because most people, when it's their last season, it's because that they're close to the end of the road physically. But for him, this is his last track season. I mean, he may end up back here, but say his football career is successful, this is it. But he's doing his last season when he's still very physically capable. So he has the mentality of someone who wants to savor every moment and wants to be as good as he possibly can and not miss any opportunities with the physical attributes of somebody who's still in the prime of their career. And that makes a pretty dangerous combination to have both those things going at the same time, because usually it's one or the other.
Yeah, that's a good point. Didn't think about it that way. Yeah, it's like
I thought about
what's his
that when
name?
you were talking about Allison Felix.
Thanks. It's like what was the running back for the Detroit Lions?
Detroit Lions?
Who
Barry
retired
Sanders?
early. Detroit Lions, Barry Sanders. It's like a Barry Sanders moment.
Oh, okay.
All right. Trying to go out in your peak condition.
Alvin Jones?
Yeah.
Devin Allen is the Barry Sanders of the NFL, of the track and field world. Barry Sanders is
all right.
Let's talk a little about Peyton Jordan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there anything else at Penn? Any other race? I mean, we did the distance stuff before, so I don't know if there's anything.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, you can see some fast times though. If people get after these records or get after these early legs of these relays, I think you're gonna see some fast times because obviously we know how deep middle distance and distance running is now. So I just keep an eye on that. That's one thing I'm watching on day 2. But Peyton Jordan is this weekend. Gordon, what are you watching for in that meet?
Men's 10,000. That's the one to look at. You got Charles Hicks. You got Adrian Wildshut. Wildshut. No, I should be better at this. They're going to be kind of going quick in that 10K, I would think. Ingebrigtsen is there. He's going to be in the 5K. It's not Jakob Ingebrigtsen, but Henrik is there. So the 5K is going to be pretty good. He'll, 13:30 type guys in that 5. So that should be interesting to see that go down. Women's races are pretty good on the distance side as well. It's a weird year, right? Because Peyton, I don't think Peyton happened last year, right? Is this the first year back of Peyton?
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah. So it's kind of like rebooting, right? Because the top schools, they went to the West Coast Relays last year, and so it's kind of like it's like a rebuild mode for Peyton. And I think next year, Peyton's going to be closer to back to we've seen in the past with some of the top pros. But even on an off year for Peyton, you have college athletes, Vanessa there as well from Bowerman. And I think we're still going to see some hot times in the 10s, the 5s, the 15s, especially the 10s. People are running out of opportunities to run a fast 10K as the end of the season's coming up upon us. Kara D'Amato is in the day. Her we talked about her how she breakout season over the COVID times. Now transitioning back to the track, see what she can do in a 10K. But yeah, that's going on live tonight. If you're listening to this on Saturday, then it already happened, so you can just watch watch the replays on FloTrack. But yeah, I'm excited for the 5Ks and the 10. Lauren Ryan, she's a really good 5K runner from Florida State, so she might run faster than Caitlin Tui's 15-14. I'm not saying that, but Lauren Ryan's pretty damn good, so we'll see. It's gonna be fun.
Awesome. All right, as Gordon mentioned, that is going down live on FloTrack. Check that out. Penn Relays going on all day today. You can enter the pickup contest as well, where you can try to win fabulous prizes. Scan that QR code, folks, and maybe you will be the big winner. Maybe you can get all three correct. Any last words, Gordon?
I want to talk again about Allison Felix. No, I'm just kidding. No last words. We're good. Like, subscribe.
No last words.
Thanks for listening to the pod. Thanks for watching. If you're in Philadelphia, come say hi. We're running around, filming some stuff, having a good time, watching some track.
Free selfies with Gordon is a thing I'm trying to get trending. If you're in the Philadelphia area, come out and say hello to Gordon. And if you're listening to the podcast while you're running, just know that we could be around any corner. Thanks to Colt for producing. Watch the Penn Relays live. We'll be back. Wait, hold on. Are we doing a pod tomorrow or not? We need to tell people, and we need to tell Colt.
Yeah, we're doing one
same
more.
Time?
Yeah, same time.
Same time.
We'll do a mini pod, like 30 minutes. This is a lot of stuff that's happened. I mean, if a world record go down, we're going to want to talk about it. If we see some crazy DMRs, we're going to want to talk about it. So
8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern on Saturday. We'll be live on YouTube, or you can catch the archive. We'll talk to you guys then.